Alright, you see the background, and you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Pro Wrestling Show presents Predict Outcome for All Out, where we talk about match previews, predictions, and outcomes for the second event of All Out AEW proudly present. And then plus, we'll have hot topics, the latest wrestling news of what's going on, where Renee Young finally speaks out about her WWE absence, leaving WWE, and what was the reason. The People's Champion, The Rock, has COVID, and plus others, as all new pro wrestling show starts right now. Hello everyone, welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host as always, Ken Dix here. Glad you joined us on the Pro Wrestling Show. Don't forget what we said. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. As we are here in our new studios, you see right down the background, the All Out background. So hey, AEW presents All Out. The second annual edition of All Out comes your way from Jackson Place in Jacksonville, Florida. Man, All Out is that. But first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And tell a friend, call a friend to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, subscribe. Subscribe is caring. As we here in the Pro Wrestling Show make content for you here on Connect. As we are getting set for the Pro Wrestling Show All Out AEW presents. Alright. Now let's get to one of the first matches of the night. Alright. Now many of you know that that Chris Jericho has been a thorn on Orange Cassidy's side as like, or might vice versa for Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy gaining popularity and belief. Jericho and Orange Cassidy has one win out each other. But this time, this is the rubber match. Jericho has created matches such as the Money in the Bank for WWE. He was the innovator that he concepted the match with that. But Chris Jericho found a new match that he wants to reveal at AEW on All Out against his nemesis, Orange Cassidy. Well, Jericho created the Mosa Mayhem match where a lot of champagne and bubbly and orange juice, as that we like to say. Well, Jericho made the match after saying that he could be Orange Cassidy, but at the debate, he got Orange Cassidy be more vicious, more, you know what. Well, Jericho and Cassidy meet one-on-one this time in the rubber match, where you can win by pinfall, submission, or throwing your opponent over that bubbly or mimosa. So this is going to be a match that's going to be living of the greats. You know, Jericho has been given the upper ship with Orange Cassidy's ladies. Orange Cassidy the same way, upsmanship. So look for Jericho to build Orange Cassidy up. And Jericho loses to Orange Cassidy. And Orange Cassidy wins this Mimosa Mayhem match, which is the most craziest match ever. Also, the AEW Women's Championship is on the line as Rhea Shida, the AEW Women's Champion, takes on NWA Women's Champion Thunder Rosa. This match came out the blue. Now, we know Thunder Rosa, you've been watching YouTube and stuff here on YouTube. Well, Thunder Rosa has been making her more set on AEW. And you can tell with NWA and AEW doing their talent exchange where, you know, you see Wade Barrett coming back to NXT. We'll talk about that later on, what's going on with that. Well, Hiroshita looking to prove that she is a fighting champion. She defends her goal against Thunder Rosa. So look for Hiroshita to retain her women's title over Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa put up a great show this week when she went against Serena Deeb. So look for Hiroshita to win the match. Also, the AEW World Tag Team titles are on the line as the champions Hangman Page and Kenny Omega defend against FTR. FTR has traveled and wrestled around the world. FTR now has a shot of a lifetime to become the tag team, the best tag team in the world. Now we know their past accomplishments, like accolades in WWE, winning all 3 brand titles. This time they win the AEW title. It solidifies their glories and their dominance. Well, FTR looking forward to becoming the next tag team champions, and they have Tully Blanchard as their advisor. Well, there's been some cracks going on in the Elite, where Hangman Page caused the Young Bucks to not win the World Tag Team, not be number contenders for the World Tag Team titles. But this time, Page and Omega still having their own trust issues. So look for FTR to win the match and become the new AEW World Tag Team Champions, and see the breakup and the split of Omega and Page coming up. Also, the Dark Order goes in a huge 8-man tag. The Dark Order goes against National Nightmares, Matt Cardona and Scorpio Sky. Look for some scores to be settled in this match, as Broly won the TNT Championship from Cody, and now Broly and his goons, Coca Cabana, Stu Grayson, Evil Uno, goes one-on-one against Dustin, QT Marshall, Matt Corona, and Scorpio Sky. Look for the baby faces to win this match, and look for Matt Cardona to get that shot against Broly for the TNT title in the future. All right, that ends, and we got one more. All right, we have one more, a tooth and nail match. Well, this has been speculated for months now. It's been Britt Baker go against Big Swole. Big Breaker has been on the injured reserve list lately, and she's sending people left and right to take out Big Swole. Many people can get the job done. Well, this week, Big Swole got her cup as Reba proposing as a pizza delivery person, and Big Breaker attacked her with her crutch. Big Breaker sent a message. It was a lockjaw, and so it's gonna be the buy-in match: Big Breaker versus Big Swole. So you're watching this now. You're watching the buy-in. So look for that match to happen at All Out between the two women. But I would give this to Big Swole, because Big Swole want her revenge one way and worse, to get her hands on Big Breaker after humiliating her this week on Dynamite with the pizza and attacking her from behind. Alright, that ends the first half of Pro Wrestling Show. Predict the outcome for All Out. We'll have the second half later on. But coming up next, we talk about hot topics as Renee Young finally speaks out on why she left WWE, and the great one, The Rock, tested positive for COVID-19. Ooh, man. Ooh. And more news as the Pro Wrestling Show continues in a minute. Back to the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Kid Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation using the hashtag ProWrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend, call friends, subscribe. Subscribe is caring. So we'll get to the second half of the All Out, predict the outcome later on. Let's get to hot topics. All right, on hot topics this week, man, you won't believe what's going on. Well, the great one, The Rock, the People's Champion, took to social media and announced that him and his family, all his wife, his kids, were tested positive for COVID-19.
All right. Good morning, by the way, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're at around the world right now. I wanted to give you guys a little helpful update on some of the things that I have been going through on my end for the past 2.5 to 3 weeks now. So the update is this. My wife, Lauren, as well as my 2 baby girls and myself, we have all tested positive for COVID-19. And I could tell you that this has been one of the most challenging and difficult things we have ever had to endure as a family. And And for me personally too as well. And I've gone through some doozies in the past. I've gotten knocked about and got my ass kicked a little bit in the past with some challenges, but testing positive for COVID-19 is much different than overcoming nasty injuries or being evicted or even being broke, which I have been more than a few times. And the reason why I feel like this is different is because my number one priority is to always protect my family and protect my children, my loved ones. By the way, I know I speak for all of you guys. It is our number one priority. All of you guys around the world, you always want to protect your family and your babies. And I wish it was only me who tested positive, but it wasn't. It was my entire family. So this one was a real kick in the gut. But I am happy to tell you guys that we as a family are good. We are on the other end of it. We're on the other side. We are no longer contagious, and we are, thank God, we are healthy. And we've gotten through COVID-19 stronger and healthier. And, believe me, I am counting my blessings because like all of us, we all have been hit by this thing. Whether it is people we know, family we know, loved ones we know, friends we know. So we are counting our blessings right now because we're well aware that it isn't always the case that you get on the other end of COVID-19 stronger and healthier. I have had some of my best friends have lost their parents, their loved ones to this virus that is so incredibly relentless and unforgiving, and it is insidious. We are counting our blessings, but we are good.
Rock showing a bravery in his part to urge people to get tested and, stay your distance and 6 feet away. So for Rock, being tested and being brave enough to share that he had COVID-19, and we wish nothing but the best for the Rock and his family at this moment, at this time. Also, speaking of COVID-19, Renee Young explains why she left WWE. Renee Young, the former WWE broadcaster who left around SummerSlam, now speaks out about why she left. She left because she feels like WWE didn't take her slide seriously and sliding after she made that comment that she had COVID-19. Many in WWE felt like that she was trying to undermine them, you meant to say, and it was like a bad PR stunt in her behalf, where Renee Young felt like she was slighted and she felt like, everybody's just normal, everybody has COVID, you just don't know. So many people are wondering what's her next move. Many people think she might head to AEW, or many people think she might go to ESPN. Who knows? Renee Young, like phenomenal talent in the making. So we'll see. Speaking of that, the USA Network wants NXT to change a new time slot, a new day. They want NXT on Tuesday rather than Wednesday. Well, Triple H, the head of NXT and the overseer of NXT, hasn't made his mind yet, but it's likely he could go that direction since NXT ain't been doing so well in the rating against AEW head to head. So look for in the future Triple H making a decision that we're gonna move NXT Tuesday nights. And speaking of Tuesday night, they only come on Tuesday night this week, so look for that on the road. Also, speaking of NXT, you saw a familiar face. You saw Wade Barrett return. Well, he was a commentator for the NWA in the world of sports. Well, Wade Barrett looking in talks and negotiations to sign a full-term deal with WWE. So Wade Barrett coming to WWE. Hopefully he gets this contract signed. And with that leaves Nigel McGuinness. And we'll talk about too what's coming up later. But I can see Wade Barrett being on NXT. He fits like a glove. Hey, you can have him and Nigel, or move Nigel to SmackDown or something. You never know. Since Raw got a 3-man booth, might well make SmackDown a 3-man booth as well too. But most people ain't ready for that. Also, speaking of that, Mamma Mia. What's his name? What's that man? That Mauro Ranallo. He got released. He asked for his release and he got it. So Mauro Ranallo, Voice NXT no longer the voice, so he's been replaced by Vic Joseph as the new head lead voice announcer for NXT. So Vic Joseph in that role. Lamar Ranallo was a good commentator. I guess he has a lot of issues dealing with serious bouts of depression. Lamar Ranallo trying to get himself the help he needs, so we understand too, and then he's taking care of his mom as well. So understandably. Also, WWE cancels the Big Show show after one season. I never watched the Big Show show, never seen it. Maybe one day I'll watch it just to be curious. I saw one episode and I got turned off immediately. I said, no, this ain't for me. The Big Show show canceled. I guess that's what Big Show was trying to push everyone to watch that show. Also, Rey Mysterio suffered a torn tricep. Mysterio likely to be out for at least 4 months. But hey, Dominic's in his place to take care of the ball while he's running with that. Also, TV guy named AEW in the top 100 shows on TV. Tony Khan responded by giving TV guy praise, and that's it. Tony Khan loves praise, more power, just to tout. Also, Eric Young, the former Impact alum, now current, won the Impact World Championship over Eddie Edwards. So Eric Young coming back means serious business. Eric Young now in his third title reign as Impact champion. They still ain't got no larger audience. They don't care. Also, there's been talks that AEW may have a second show coming up before the end's out. So for the end of the year, AEW might come back with a second show in terms. So we'll see how that second show comes. It might be akin to SmackDown, how Raw is to SmackDown. Also, MLW announced they're restarting their wrestling show again in November, starting in Dallas. So MLW coming back. A lot of MLW talents are trying to get back in the world, like Richard Holiday, Devon Eriks, and Contra Unit. Let that go. They're kind of good when they're on Pulp Fiction. They're trying to put some on. Also, controversial wrestling star New Jack. A lot of reports saying he disowned his son, as his son is a drag queen. It's the weirdest. And you're a wrestling star and you're controversial, and then you come find out your loans are to some other drag queen. Wow. Okay. Well, when you live in America, that's how it be. Also, Eva Marie wants to return to WWE. Eva Marie trying to find her big break some way, somehow, to come back to WWE. And she hopes so in the near future. Also, the Iconics has split up on Raw. So the Iconics breaking up. Long-time tag team went against the Riot Squad. The winners of the match will earn a women's tag team title shot, where the losing team will have to be disbanded. Billie Kay lost their fall, and now the Riot Squad no more. But it was processing being separated forever. But the Riot Squad, you know how that go. You know how that go. When you're the Riot Squad, you kind of have to do that. But Billie Kay, Pain Royce turned on Billie Kay, and that was it from them. Also, Retribution may be exclusive to Raw than SmackDown, but they started on SmackDown, caused chaos on both shows, but likely to be on Raw. Did you see what they did to Garza, the Street Profits? Garza ran away with Demi. Garza kind of like being like a chicken. Demi, she was almost getting tacked out by them too. But Retribution attacked Andrade and Selena Vega and the Street Profits. Man. Also, Mustafa Ali comments not being used on Raw again. So Mustafa Ali being upset again. But he was featured in the main event this week on main event against Ricochet. Two talented, promising stars, and they getting utilized like that on the C show. And finally, Pat McAfee may be moving his show to Sirius. Well, I guess the NXT thing worked out for him, so Pat McAfee might be moving to Sirius SL Radio sooner than you think. So we hope what's going on with that. Alright, that ends Hot Topics. Let's move back to the second half of the AEW All Out Predict the Outcome here on the Pro Wrestling Show. And see right here the graphics right there below. Alright, let's get to it. Well, the Young Bucks will take on Jurassic Express. This happened where the Young Bucks teamed up with Jurassic Express against Private Party in SCU. The winning team will face each other and be added on to the card. So the Young Bucks and Jurassic Express won the match. So look for the Young Bucks to win the match. Just typical Young Bucks. You know how they go. Is they gonna no? Also, the Casino Battle Royal winner earns a World Championship match where the participants are Darby Allin, Lance Archer, Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, Phoenix and Pentagon, The Butcher and the Blade, Eddie Kingston, and more to be announced. Well, we know it's been a lot of tit for tat going on with Darby Allin, with Cage, against Cage, Ricky Starks, and their mentor Taz, where Ricky Starks and Brian Cage get the upper advantage on Darby Allin. Look for, I don't know, it's too hard to say right now. And then Lance Archer going against, taking his frustration at Cage, and Jake the Snake Roberts and Taz having the words. I want to say they're going to put Darby Allin win this match, but I want to say Cage. So look for Cage to win the match. Also, the Broken Rules match. What that means is Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara one-on-one. You know, Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara don't like each other, can't stand one another. That's why they're doing a version of a loser leaves town match for Matt Hardy. Now, if Sammy Guevara wins this match, Matt Hardy must leave AEW. So look for, and then Sammy doesn't like Matt, so look for Matt Hardy to win this match because he ain't going on well. If he do, he'll probably be behind the scenes. You know how they go. Alright, and finally, the main event. As you see right here, MJF versus the champion, Jon Moxley. MJF announced his candidacy that he wants to be World Heavyweight Champion, but he knows that Jon Moxley right there holds the gold. So in order to win the title, you got to go through him to become champion. Well, Moxley and MJF went through the contract, drawing the contract, and found out that Moxley added a stipulation to the match. Moxley wanted MJF lawyer, since MJF lawyer was talking all that smack. Well, MJF lawyer did talk that smack, and he didn't pay for it either. And Moxley won by defeating the lawyer with the double arm DDT. And MJF, Warlow came out there. MJF's heavy muscle came out there to destroy and left MJF for the pickings. MJF coming out there, and JR said, "You know he ain't hurt." Everybody knew that. MJF dastardly attacked Moxley and left him blood like a crimson mass. Well, put up a shit up time between these two men, and these two men gonna fight like they ain't fight never before. So it's tough to say who's gonna win this match. I like to want to say MJF, I like to want to say Moxley, but Warlow can be a difference maker in this match. Warlow cost MJF the match. That's what I'm thinking gonna happen. Warlow gonna cost MJF the match. I'll be shocked if MJF wins the world title. So I'm gonna say Moxley will win this match and keep his streak going. So look for Jon Moxley to retain the AEW World Championship over MJF. If MJF wins, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is with that. But look for Moxley to win. Alright. Thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. Predict the outcome for All Out. It's All Out coming your way right now this Saturday. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long, and we'll see you all out.